Palm Springs, directed by Max Barbacow and starring Andy Samberg and Kristen Milioti, takes place in Palm Springs, California, where there's some weird occurrences going on at a wedding. Andy Samberg, the boyfriend of one of the bridesmaids, eventually forms an intimate connection with the maid of honor, played by Kristen Milioti, and the two attempt to escape a unique reality together, all the while exploring their pasts and flaws. Alright, so there's so much more I could have said in that plot description, but I am intentionally leaving it vague for you guys because I want you to know as little as possible going in. I think this benefited my personal viewing experience because all I knew about it was the two actors starring in it, and my brother told me it was good, and that was it. That was all I knew. But I went back and watched the trailer afterwards, and I thought that there really was a lot that gives the plot away. So, yeah, what I'll say is you should definitely watch this movie, and you should definitely not watch the trailer beforehand. But long story short, I love virtually everything about this film. I feel like this is a romantic comedy done in a fun, unique, and very satisfying way. The rom-com formula is pretty well explored at this point, but I think Palm Springs does take aspects from other films to create a unique experience that feels like it crosses at least a few different genres. The film juggles these ideas really, really well though. I mean, it doesn't feel like it's trying to be too many things at once, and it's something that I personally admire because of how well they pull that off. This is a film that I think a lot of people will really like because it offers a lot of variety in terms of its tones. I also think Andy Samberg and Kristen Milioti are excellent together. They have a great natural chemistry, and you feel like there's actual weight to the development of their relationship. And with any rom-com, the characters themselves have to go through some sort of growth as well because, otherwise they're just the same people they've always been, and now they're romantically involved, and that's it. That's not the case here, because you get a fairly in-depth look at the insecurities of both characters that have sort of, held them back from being the person they want to be. Rom-coms are often at their best when the partners serve as a catalyst for positive change in one another. Meeting and falling in love with each other, helps them evolve and grow beyond what they've always been. It allows them to become something more. And this is a concept that we can pretty much all get behind. The concept that love can, change how we view the world. Palm Springs may not have even been trying to, deliver that message, but it did, and it does deserve credit for it nonetheless. Andy Samberg's character Niles is fairly similar to the usual character he plays. I mean, he's goofy, he doesn't take life all that seriously, and he often avoids responsibility. Pretty indicative of Andy Samberg's typical character archetype. But I was impressed that this time around, he took on a character that had more dramatic scenes where the character more so tugs at your heartstrings than pulls on your funny bone. He does both, but I was actually really impressed at how Andy Samberg tackled the more dramatic scenes. I always like seeing comedic actors take on roles like these and show that they're more than one-note performers. They can portray characters that have actual depth, which Andy Samberg does here. And Kristen Milioti, who you probably know from How I Met Your Mother or maybe Black Mirror, which I personally haven't seen, I think she stole the show for me. I loved her character Sarah because she just felt so realistic. Her relationships with her family felt authentic, the way she feels like an outsider when she interacts with them, and just the way she is pretty often unable to connect with other people. I also just liked her personality. She's fun, she's easy to empathize with, and she often plays off Niles really, really well. This is a very funny movie that also turns out to be very emotional as well. It's repetitive just by the nature of what the story is, but it worked for me. It works because each day delivers something new. Something new the characters experience, some way new in which they learn and grow, and some way the details of the nature of what they're experiencing are expanded upon. I don't think Palm Springs is a technical or narrative masterpiece, but I do think it juggles multiple tones extremely effectively. In doing so, the film delivers a well-rounded experience that feels unique because it borrows from different genres and films. I think the fact that they offered something that feels fresh in a genre that is considered to be very predictable is nice, and something that I think you should experience in all honesty. I do think that this movie can appeal to a broad general audience of adults because it's not sappy or generic, and it offers a lot of value in different areas, something 2020 desperately needs. As for the pros-cons, for the pros, Palm Springs delivers excellent characters and performances, lots of laughs and fun, a heartwarming story, and an engaging mixing of various genres. As for the cons, you could argue that the film is a little bit repetitive, but I'm not going to because I'm fine with what the story was going for and it worked for me. I'm going to give Palm Springs a 10 out of 10 and highly recommend you check it out. It's actually available on Hulu, so that's probably the best place to watch it. So did you guys see Palm Springs yet? What did you think of it? And if not, let me know why not. Also, just let me know how you guys are doing in the comments below. 2020 has been pretty rough so far, and I'm hoping we can return to some sense of normalcy soon, but I guess we'll see on that. I do apologize for not being able to upload much recently. I've been absolutely swamped in work and school, but I'm thinking things will return to normal here pretty soon, so I'm very hopeful. But that's all for now. Look out for more videos in the near future, and this is WillFoxification signing off. See you in the next review.